Emotional control is a challenge that many neurodivergent individuals face. In this episode, we'll discuss how to manage the highs and lows and find balance. We're talking today all about emotional control and how that relates to executive dysfunctioning. What is emotional control? Emotional control is the ability to manage and control your emotions in order to achieve a goal or complete a task. So it's the ability to stay calm if you feel anxious or to bounce back if you've had a setback or a hiccup in your day or a frustration. So while these feelings are absolutely normal and you shouldn't have to tamper them down or hold them in, emotional control is the ability to regulate that and how you respond to it and things like when you struggle with emotional control as a neurodivergent individual, you may experience such quick bursts and changes in your emotions. You may feel self conscious about them, or it may come to the point where one little thing, which again we know isn't just one little thing, but it just ruins and it, it, it derails your entire day. And you see this also in this isn't supposed I don't want this to be confused with having anxiety and with being an overthinker because that's an entirely different conversation. But when you have emotional control issues, you are also likely to constantly worry about things and you're overthinking things and you're always just you can't come to these decisions. You get this analysis paralysis trap, right? So that's part emotional control. But that may also, if you do have existing anxiety issues, it's amplified by that. And emotional control, here's the other thing. It's not the ability to feel emotions or that it's the ability to handle disruptive emotions and the impulses to stay in control of the emotions and how we respond to our emotions. Because this was always one of those myths about autistic individuals is that you can't feel empathy or that you can't feel other people's emotions and things like that. And what I have found, just from my own personal experience, but then also from talking to other autistic individuals, we do feel emotions. We feel them in a very big way. And sometimes it's not just our emotions that we're feeling, but it's the emotions of the people around us. And then you combine that with the sensory stimulation, with our own, okay, did I eat yet? Did I do this yet? When you combine not just your own inability to regulate your emotions, but then also all of the other things that are coming in, it's not that we don't have the empathy or that we can't relate to other people's emotions. It may just be that we can't process it all at that particular point in time. So we're going to talk more about that when we get into the next little mini series about emotional regulation and emotional dysregulation. So back to this whole thing about emotional control is also very closely linked to self control. So, self control is more of the physical ability to control and stay focused, where the emotional control is based on your feelings and emotions. But when you lose control over either the self control or the emotional control, they are going to impact each other. So, here are some ways that you can improve your emotional control. First is to identify the triggers and to identify those things that will often set you into this loop of being out of control of your emotions and your responses to those emotions. Sometimes it's easier to avoid and sometimes it's not, but if you are at least very familiar with them, then you can start to develop the strategies and the systems to, not just to avoid them, but to also to deal with them and to cope with them. One of the other things that you can do is to just take a break and to give yourself a little bit of that mental time to reconnect, the mindful minute or a 5-second pause. That's my favorite thing. It's a 5-second pause. And really it is. It's just that you're taking 5 seconds to reconnect with yourself, to regulate, to just get control again. And you want to look for positives. And I'm not trying to say this in such a way that, okay, everything is sunshine and rainbows, because it's not. We know it's not. But do try to look for those positive things, because when we are looking for the positive things, it helps with our own brain waves. It helps send out the serotonin. It helps make us happy. And who doesn't like to be happy? Another piece that you can do is meditation. If you're not big on the meditation, again, start with that 5 second pause or a mindful moment. You can do a mindful minute if you'd like. So back to this whole thing on emotional control. With emotional control, it does not mean a lack of emotions or an emotional response. What it does mean is that is the ability to manage and control your emotions in order to achieve your goals, to complete tasks. And what it means is that it's the ability to be able to stay calm in situations. It's the ability to not have these quick outbursts of anger. And it's the ability to also to recognize the emotions that you have that are going on. Emotional control is also very closely linked to self control. Self control is your physical control and being the ability to stay focused. The emotional control is based on those feelings and emotions. They do go hand in hand, and one will impact the other. So that's what I have for you today on emotional control. So I will see you soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day.